Welcome to the next episode in this series of short video tutorials on how to digitize with Singer's Professional Sew-Ware Deluxe embroidery software, known as PSW Deluxe. My name is Tanya Owens, and I will be your guide through this series. This tutorial focuses on digitizing appliques. Appliques are fabric pieces that are stitched on top of textiles and fastened with embroidery stitches on the outline of it. You can create appliques with the freeform, geometric, and magic wand digitizing tools by selecting the applique recipe as the fill type. You can also use auto punch. However, the manual punch tools give you more control, so we will focus on the tools in the digitizing mode. If you would like to follow along using the artwork in this video, the link is posted in the description below. We will be digitizing artwork to fit into the small hoop. We will be digitizing the winking smiley face artwork. Since the small hoop is 4x4, we will resize the artwork to be 3 inches. With the artwork on the screen, we can click it to activate the digitizing mode, and then click the ellipse button on the digitizing toolbar, or you can press the shortcut keys Shift and D. To ensure we accurately digitize the artwork, we will zoom in. This is a good rule of practice. Always digitize on zoomed in artwork. Once the ellipse tool is activated, select which fill recipe type you will be stitching. We will be creating an applique for the face, so we will select the applique fill. It is also good to have the embroidery settings displayed while digitizing. You can access the embroidery settings via the design menu, right-clicking and selecting it, or by pressing the G shortcut key. Clicking the down arrow in the embroidery settings will keep the box open while digitizing. Otherwise, the box will collapse when you move away and click elsewhere. In the embroidery settings, click the Stitch Type tab. Verify that applique is selected. If it is not, double-check the fill type on the toolbar and ensure applique is set as the fill type. Let's look at the settings for an applique. PSW Deluxe automatically generates the following sequence of embroidery on the outline of the area digitized. A running stitch guideline to indicate where to position the fabric. This is the first hold down line. 25 or 2.5 millimeters is the average distance between needle holes and its default setting. However, you can change it. The smallest distance you can set it is 10, that is 1 millimeter, which is typically used for very small shapes. A jump stitch to move the embroidery frame out, thus allowing you to easily place the applique fabric to the position indicated. To activate this enable frame out, a stop code is then automatically added so that the machine will stop and you can carefully place the fabric in the hoop or remove the hoop and adhere the fabric and then place the hoop back on the machine. Optionally, you can select a second stitch line to tie the applique fabric to the garment fabric. This is designed for more durability. To activate this, enable the second hold down line. The second hold down line is a running stitch. For this project, we will not enable this feature. And lastly, a satin outline to give the final touch and look of the applique. This is the overlock stitches. You can adjust the density, which is the distance or space between two satin stitches. You want this wide enough to cover the tack down stitches. No, more density is required for wide columns. And you can adjust the width, which is the breadth of the column created. Click the Apply button to activate the changes. Before we start inputting points, we will select the color we want to digitize in. To change to a different color, click the Color button on the top toolbar and use the color mixer to choose your color. If you want to pick the colors in the artwork, move your mouse over the section of the artwork you are going to digitize. The mouse pointer will turn into an eyedropper. Click the artwork and the color will change to the color in the artwork. Click OK to set the thread color. Repeat this process for each color change in your design. Hold the Control key and click and drag an ellipse around the face. This will create a circle. While still holding the Control key, pull on the square handles to adjust as necessary to ensure it perfectly fits the face. Drag the 4-way arrow to center over the circle in the hoop. This helps to align its center. Right-click and click Stitch It. Note, the applique will be drawn over the artwork. Go to Tools, System Parameters, or press F2. Click the Embroidery tab and deselect Draw Applique and click the OK button. You should now see the artwork and black lines will be drawn around the artwork to indicate where the applique is. Next, we will digitize the eyes and mouth. Click the Magic Wand button and change the fill recipe to column. Then click the right eye. If you are not in the digitizing mode, press the Control and W keys. You will automatically be brought into the editing mode. If the eye is not in a satin stitch, click the Stitch Type tab to change the stitch type, then click the Apply button. Review the other settings and make the necessary changes. Then right-click and click Stitch It. We are returned to the digitizing mode with the magic wand selected. Click the left eye and then right-click Stitch It. Lastly, click the mouth and right-click Stitch It. Zoom out a bit and press the F2 key to open the system parameters. Click the Embroidery tab and enable Draw Applique and then click the OK button. You should now see the winking smiley face on the applique material. Press the Escape key to exit the digitizing mode. Redraw the design by pressing the Shift-R keys. You will be checking the routing of your design. If you don't like where the jump stitches are, go into the editing mode to change the entry and exit stitches of the blocks. Note, if a color has changed on one or more blocks, you can change the color to the correct color so that you can print a hard copy and or soft copy of the design for your records with the colors you choose for your design. Some digitized applique designs do not have satin overlock stitches. Instead, the fabric sticks out after it is tacked down and frayed. If you want this look and feel, you will select the second hold down line and deselect the overlock stitches. If you don't want the traditional satin outline for your applique and think that the running stitch makes it look unfinished, you can use motif stitches instead. To do this, finish the applique by doing steps 1 and 3. Remember not to add overlock stitches. Then exit the digitizing mode by pressing the Escape key, and in the object list, click the block and right-click on the block in the hoop and select Copy. Then paste the block. It should paste directly on top of the block you copied. If it isn't, make the necessary adjustment. Since we created the entire applique with the eyes and mouth, this applique block is added to the end of the object list. So we will reorder the blocks and make this new block we created block number 2 by right-clicking and select Reorder Block and choosing to move it to position 2. PSW Deluxe will keep the stop code that was originally there. Since the copy block is the same color, there is no need for the machine to stop stitching after the tack down stitches. Click the Edit button and change the fill recipe from applique to running stitch. In the embroidery settings, change the stitch type to motif. Then click the word Catalog to open a catalog of motif stitches and select a stitch pattern you like. I chose pattern 1026. Adjust the max size and distance to your liking and then click the Apply button. Note, if you do not want the tie-down stitches to display through the motif stitches, you can 1. Make sure the stitches match the color of the applique fabric. 2. Choose to use monofilament thread, or 3. Opt not to use the tie-down stitches. If you choose option 3, make sure you use a good fusible web backing on the applique material and use decorative motif stitches that will adequately hold the fabric in place. Now click the editing button to exit the editing mode and go to View Redraw to see a redraw of the design. You can access the editing mode to change the entry and exit points of any block to improve the routing. If everything looks okay, go to Print Preview to review the design and print your template. You can print a PDF if you have that function on your computer and save the PDF with the CHE design and XXX stitch files. You have now added a customized stitch design that performs as overlocking and decorative stitches. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. There are additional videos in this series, so please check my channel to view those videos. I have also written an in-depth guide called Digitizing with PSW Deluxe Embroidery Software that contains greater detail than is in these videos. You can purchase this guide from my website at www.tanyaowens.com/PSW-Deluxe. That information is also in the description below. Until next time, happy digitizing.